to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally Graham, and this morning I am speaking with Rob Longley, who's Managing Director and CEO of Ardiden Limited. Now, Rob, you've been very busy, Ardiden Limited, over in Canada, in Ontario, at your Pickle Lake gold project over there. Well, let's give us a rundown of what's been happening, where you've been focusing this year, and give us an idea of what you might be up to early next year. Give us a rundown there.
Yeah, sure, Wally. Thanks for checking in on Ardiden. Always appreciate Resources Roadhouse checking on our progress and letting the listeners know. We are flat out at the moment, still drilling. I'm in the technical room in Perth. You see all the sort of wall maps on our walls behind us as we sort of study the area. Really, as well as what people will have seen, which is drilling at Kasagiminnis at the moment, or Kas as we can refer to it. We just sort of reflected a little bit, for about 10 minutes on what we've done this year and what's made us really exciting about next year. We've built a project, and if you look at that slide, I think it's slide 10 in our AGM presentation, the package that we built up from what we started with is amazing, and everyone's really excited about the ground that we put into a portfolio now of over 850 square kilometres of Archaea and greenstone with gold mines and anomalies all the way through it. So that's taken some time, in the geophysics and everything that we've got on that historical data, as well as just the drilling that we're doing at Kas. So Kas tends to get a lot of noise, I guess, in the market, which is good. But there's a bigger picture they're building about next year. So currently at the moment, and I'm in the technical room with our project geo Hayden. Hayden's, if you can see him just behind me, he's busy liaising with the guys. We've just got off the phone to them this morning over in Thunder Bay and Pickle Lake, just touching in with them every morning and every night as to how drilling is going. We've just clicked over the 3,000 metre.
Correct. Yep.
So we've done again what we said we'd do. We plan to drill 3,000 metres in summer. We've drilled 3,000 metres. It's not quite summer, it's -7, but the guys have really put in hard and soldiered on into cold climates. So what we're planning to do now is after the next couple of holes at Kas is move that rig across to South Limb and try and get some exploratory holes in at our second project at Pickle Lake, which is the South Limb prospect, which we put out a release about a week and a half ago, I think it was, or maybe 2 weeks. Right next to the Donna Lake mine, some really interesting targets out there. Bit of exploration drilling before Christmas, just to give us something to work on over the period, and then perhaps go back more targeted next year. So 2020 has been a really exciting year for us. This map on the wall, we constantly refer to and update as we process historical data and bring new geophysics from Southern Geoscience into clear picture. And while we're drilling at Kas and South Limb, because we've got permits on those and we've got agreements with First Nations, we're looking especially up towards the Golden Patricia and Dorothy Dobie zone of some much bigger tier 1 scale targets that are really exciting. How can we get in there? We've just dropped a new guy on ground in Thunder Bay to help us with First Nations and logistics. So, this has been a setting up year, I guess, in a way. Next year is going to be really exciting with a bit more resources, a lot more support behind us, still plenty of cash in the bank to go drilling, to venture out into the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th gold prospects. I mean, not many people will have that luxury of so many targets to choose from. We've got to do that diligently. But, we're drilling at Kas, we'll drill at South Limb, and then we'll get out to Dorothy Dobie and the new Patricia next year. So that's to have, I'd really love to have rigs going at 3 or 4 different bases. That's what's going to provide news flow and ultimately lead to discovery. We're absolutely focused on a strategy that brings all these projects into line one after the other. I think the bigger news will be during our winter program at Kas. So what we've learned from this 3,000 metre program during sort of so-called summer, which is now well and truly getting into sort of frozen territory, are better ways to operate when we go back in winter and draw at least 4,000 metres on the lake. So that's where we're going to be exploring an area where people have always said that's where the ore body is. Nobody's been brave enough or courageous enough or had the support to do ice drilling out there in the middle of winter at -30 degrees. But these guys are built for that. We've got more support on the ground, and that's where we've got, 1.5 kilometres of untested strike, where we think we're going to really add some ounces at Kas, as well as nibbling away at South Limb and seeing what's happening up there, and then getting out to Dorothy Dobie. So it's working on all those sort of different levels that really excites us.
All right, so it's going to be a case of the news might not flow quickly, but when it does come out, it's going to be worth reading, we hope.
Well, we'll put out news as we put together the interp. So at the end of this program, we'll summarise all the data that we've got from 13 or 14 holes at Cass, at the western end, and we'll put that out as an announcement. This is what we discovered. This is what we think. This is the strategy is and the structure. And put all that together, as well as hopefully announcing that we'll be drilling at Southland as well. We're also, meanwhile, processing a lot of geophysics up through that Dorothy Dobie stretch. So if we can put that into a meaningful dialogue that makes sense, we'll put that out as well. So constant news flow is what shareholders want. They want to know what we're doing. I'm trying to show them here. There's a couple other guys that I just evicted from this room that are working away as well. It's just going to get a bit busy. So there's a big team here, and there's a really good team now building in Canada to really make the most of what we got this year and put it into practice at the drill bit next year. So
before we go, let's just quickly go through point by point where we are, where we're going, and what we may see.
Where we are, we're finishing up our summer program. We're at Cass. We're hoping to be drilling at Southland before Christmas. We'll put out our results before Christmas at Cass. We're planning our summer drilling, our winter drilling. I'm getting the seasons mixed up because it's coming into summer here, obviously, sort of. But we're planning our large winter drilling at Cass. We'll probably start there in February. We're going to be building the ice and building a winter track as well, basically now, to improve the logistics and cost. Moving out to Southland, and really what those new guys in Thunder Bay are now going to be doing is trying to work with the two other First Nation groups to get our permitting out to Dorothy Dobie and Esker and Golden Patricia. Some big targets out there. All
right, well, that's going to be a lot to take in, but we're here and we're ready to take it all in. We're ready to learn all about it, and we're also ready to bring it to everybody here at the Resources Roadhouse. So until then, Rob Longley, thanks very much for joining us, and we look forward to catching up with you again very, very soon.
Always good to talk to you, Wally.
Thanks, Wally. Much appreciated.
Hero.